Hi, Gary Cruz with AmazeStudios.com here. And if you're interested in learning about the latest firmware update from Teradek for the Wave, then watch this video. Hi, Gary Cruz with AmazeStudios.com here, and I just got an email from Teradek for the new firmware update for the Wave. This is for firmware version 2.4, and by updating, you'll get new access to these features where you can mix analog and HDMI audio sources. You can see the YouTube chat window on the dashboard, the fresh UI integrated with quick menu, and the format SD cards within your Wave. And you can set the network interface priority and choose the latency during YouTube event creation. Switching over to the Teradek Wave, I've connected the Wave to my network. And over here, if we take a look at the settings, if you haven't updated your firmware, if you want to update the firmware through the UI, through the browser, make sure you're first connected to Wi-Fi, and then you can get the IP address. And then go to the system here and click on firmware. And then simply check on the check for update button. And you can see that my device is up to date. I have version 2.4.2022.01.11, and that's already enabled. Now, if we take a look at some of the settings here, we can mix analog and HDMI audio sources in your broadcasts. So if we switch over to the Wave and take a look at the interface here, let's go ahead and create a new event and go to next. And now go ahead and select a channel here just to go ahead and get everything started. Now you can see that the recording is disabled. Let me go ahead and stick in an SD card. I've got an inexpensive SD card here. Let's just plop this right on the top. And I can go ahead and enable this, and we'll select this SD card. I'll go ahead and give it a name. I'll just call it test. And pick the format that I want. I typically use MP4. And I could have that enabled or disabled, but let's just go ahead and keep it disabled for now. And looking at the YouTube settings, they prefer 4 megabits per second, so that's what I found. I'll go ahead and select that and keep everything else default and click on Finish. All right, so now we're in the interface here. So the first new feature in this firmware is if you take a look at the audio, I can now mix between the HDMI audio or within the analog audio as well that is coming in through the line in port on the bottom here. So if I click on Mixed, I've got master audio, the HDMI audio, and the analog audio. So I can mix between the HDMI and analog audio, and then I can then select the final mix that goes out. So that's a really nice way of mixing in the audio from the two different devices. View meter in the background looks all jacked up here, and it's because of the frame rate of my camera. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that. So if I click on my shutter speed, you're not going to see this on your end. And I lower the frame rate to something other than 500. Now it's at a more respectable frame rate of 30 frames per second. It looks a little more normal. All right, so that is the audio. The next thing is the YouTube live chat window on dashboard. All right, so we can see that we've got a connection here of my stream. I can select a different latency. Right now it just defaulted to ultra low. I'll show that in a bit, but ultra low is now supported. So if we go ahead and start to chat here, it says, "This is a cool stream." Feeling creative today. And I switch over to the Teradek and take a look. Oh, wait a minute. This is RTMP. So if we look at this, since we're using RTMP, we will not see the chat. So if we go over here, there is no chat settings. So let me actually stop this. Confirm. And so to properly use chat, event configuration, and then we'll change the destination. And in order to support chat, you have to use YouTube. So if we go to YouTube, and let's go ahead and schedule a broadcast. to my live stream. And from here, I'll just do this as a chat test, chat, and we'll have that start right now on Valentine's Day. I want this unlisted. And here, this is where you can select normal latency, low latency, and ultra low latency. For the purposes of this video, we will select ultra low latency because if you're going to be chatting with anybody, you want to use the lowest latency possible. So let's go and create that. Now that it's created, let's hit on close. And then let's go ahead and go live. And if we'll see how long that takes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 11. We are on chat test. Let me check the YouTube. So over here, let's go back over to the stream and look at the manage here, just my chat test. And we have it on ultra low latency. That's what we selected. Let's try this again. Unable to go live. It isn't bound to a live stream. Okay. So let's do this. Okay. And now it's starting. Let's go over here to manage, and we're just going to start everything from scratch. So let's delete this, delete, and switch over to the Teradek and see if we can get out of this. Let's go to, it doesn't look like I can get out of here. Okay. Nope, don't want to record. Not sure how I can stop that. There we go. Okay. So it says invalid. Let's go to events. And I'm going to delete this event and we'll start from scratch. So let's create a new event. And then I'll pick a different background here. We'll just use these snowy buildings here. And let's go to my YouTube account. Click on next. We're going to pick my live stream, click on next, and we're not going to record anything for now. Over here, as I said, YouTube likes 4 megabits per second, so let's go ahead and select that for 1080p. Okay, so I want to make sure that let's schedule a broadcast here because I don't want it public. So here, I want to call this just test, and then we'll do 11:45. And then I don't want this public, so it's unlisted. We will again select low latency, ultra low latency. Click on create. There we go. And that should be it. So let's just double check the record settings, the video settings, the audio settings, and back to general, and then close this out. We want to go live. If I switch over here and take a look. Okay, there it is. Looks like it has an excellent connection, but it still says starting on the stream here. Okay, now I see it. Okay, there we go. So if we look at the stream settings, it is ultra low latency. We've got the analytics here and stream health. So the thing that I wanted to test here is, this is a chat test. So you can see that I put a chat in here. Let's switch over to the Teradek Wave. And so there it is, YouTube live chat. If we click on that, you can see on the bottom left here, this is a chat test. Now keep in mind that this is not going to be broadcasted out. this is really just allowing the broadcaster to see the chat that is coming in through YouTube on the screen itself, but it's not overlaying it onto the output here. So that's the other new thing with this latest firmware. All right, let's switch back over here and take a look at what else is new. If we look at the refreshed UI with integrated quick menu, let's switch back over. The integrated quick menu is up here in the top left. Before it was on the bottom right. So that's really what's new. And then you saw some of the menu items here. We've got the battery, the Wi-Fi, details about the event, audio settings. If I click on record, it's going to start to record. It's disabled for now. And then if I click on that, it'll stop the stream. So if I click on the YouTube chat live, it should remove that when I click outside of the box. Okay, so let's go ahead and stop this and complete the broadcast. And we won't be able to restart this, so I'm confirming yes. Let's go here. If we go to the SD card, okay, so if we go to enabled, this is where we can format the drive. So if we select the drive and click this, you can select format SD right here. I don't want to do that right now because I've got some files on there that I want to keep. If I click on eject SD, this is the safe way to eject. And now I can eject the drive and then plop that in my computer. Now I found that there's some issues with this. If I try to stick this on my computer for now, I get this error here. It says the disk you attached was not readable by this computer. I've logged a ticket with support, so they're looking into that right now. All right, the next one is the set network interface priority. So let's take a look back on this interface here. And if we go over to the system settings and go under priority quality of service, then you can select what you want first. In my case, I left it at default because I want the wired to definitely take place first because that's the strongest connection. Then we'll use the wireless here with the antennas. And then I've got a USB modem here on the right. It's a Verizon MiFi. I've got it mounted here. And then I also have another one that can, so the USB modem is connected to USB. If I connect another USB down here, which I don't have room because I have a quick release on the bottom here that is covering the USB port. So what I usually do is I use my phone to then tether to this, and then I'll have additional bonding for my network priority here. All right, so this is just a quick video showing the latest updates to the firmware and working with Teradek. They've been really responsive from my support tickets, so I've been very happy from that perspective, and they're continuing to release firmware updates. Be sure to sign up to their email notifications so you can get the latest updates, but if not, you can always go within the network, within the Wave interface and get updates that way. If you're new to my channel, I cover live streaming technology in general, so could definitely consider subscribing to my channel on the way out. Thanks for watching.